Good afternoon, and thank you so much for being here. This is, of course, a very special moment for all of us. We are here, we've watched this campaign, we've seen the difference it has made, the impact, the real impact that it has created on the ground. And the great thing about a campaign like this always is the tangible difference that you see when you really touch those children for whom the entire exercise was conducted, and how you really feel it really was all worth it at the end. Well, this is one of those moments, and that is why it is, of course, a very, very proud moment for all of us. And, you know, I'd like to call upon those without whom, of course, none of this would have happened. The first among them is Mr. T. Krishna Kumar, President, Coca-Cola, India and Southwest Asia. And, of course, a very special guest, and in fact, someone who's constantly described as a champion of this campaign since the very beginning is General Malik. He needs no introduction. Of course, Army Chief. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. Please. We can just call upon Shubha Shekhar, Director CSR and Sustainability, India and Southwest Asia, to just say a few words.
From the snowy heights of Kargil and Ladakh to the bottommost tip of India, southern India, from the deserts of Rajasthan to the northeasternmost part of India, this campaign has reached 29 states and union territories. And it has also been replicated in 4 neighboring countries, which are Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Bhutan. Several studies have shown that when there is lack of basic amenities, basic infrastructure, the levels of absenteeism increases, eventually leading to school dropouts. And this particularly affects the girl child. Therefore, when we started the journey and we were looking at developing a program, we were aiming at having replicable and scalable models of happy, healthy, and active schools where this basic amenities and infrastructure were provided. In 2010, we made a very humble beginning in partnership with NDTV and UN Habitat, and we started a pilot in 2 schools in the state of Haryana. As we went along, we gained momentum. Several partners joined us. We were able to catalyze more and more to join us, and it became a big campaign and a movement. And I take this opportunity once again to thank each one of you who have partnered with us, who have guided us, who've been present with us through this very, very memorable journey. Thank you all.
Well, I'm sure Shubha there talking about the next phase of where this journey is going to go has piqued your interest, but we're not going to reveal that just yet. Our special guests with us, and let's just try and understand from you, Mr. Krishna Kumar, Shubha just outlined for us the sweep, the geographical sweep, and with a country as diverse as ours, as India, the challenges, of course, are enormous. If I were to ask you, what do you believe are the 2 big-ticket successes of this campaign today? What would you say?
See, when we started this campaign, the 2 key objectives that we had was, can we get more children to come to school? Because this was one of the issues that was faced then. And second, can we really encourage the girl children also to come to school without worries about having a good environment in school? What I understand from the first studies that we have got in terms of the impact study, that both the objectives have been fulfilled in a pretty good manner. And so we are pretty happy that we have taken the right path to really make these things happen.
What got you involved in this?
Well, I've been associated with Coca-Cola for a long time. And my colleagues and Coca-Cola, they made me chairman of the Advisory Council on Environment and Sustainability. And one of the objectives that we have as part of that council is on CSR activities, particularly around the plants wherever they have. And so when this suggestion came up of support my school, we all felt that yes, we should be associated with it. And right through all those 7 years, I have been associated. And I've been fortunate to have visited many schools at different locations. I'm also feeling proud that yes, I managed to persuade them to go to Ladakh and Kargil. You know, not many people go there, but we thought that those schools also need to be looked after.
Points that you're making. I mean, at first, when you first thought about it in 2011, I remember first hearing about Support My School. We said, you know, it's all well, just exactly the point that you made. It's all well to talk about education, the need for teachers, and, you know, classrooms and stuff like that. But do you know that you can crack all of that in parallel at the same time? You need to crack this, because if they don't have the basics going, if they don't have the toiletries, and Shubha make the point about the tangible difference, the attendance of girls. I mean, that's just huge. And for me, that has been sort of one of the big ticket achievements of the campaign, just to see how parents are now far more comfortable letting their girls go to school. But give us a sense of what the last couple of years have been like.
See, we always wanted to go as far as we can. And I don't think while today is the end of a certain campaign, but it is also the beginning of the next phase. What happens is that during this whole phase, we get to learn a lot. We try to understand what are the factors which possibly have a higher impact, what have a lower impact. I think the last 2 years, we were able to really focus much more on the hygiene areas which really make the big difference. Most of us think a school is evaluated by the number of passes in 12th standard or by the marks people get. But what
now
is very
100% or nothing. How many students are maxing every subject?
But the more important thing in a country like India, with our percentage of literacy, etc., is to ensure that every child goes to school.
Absolutely.
And so last 2 years have been very, very good learning for us. And I think we can really implement those learnings to further keep on this journey of contributing to more and more children going to school, especially the girl child.
Right, and all of that, of course, you would know, but all of that is backed by data on just the difference it has made on the ground. And you know what they say, that we believe in God, and for everything else, there just has to be data. And we do have that. Well, you know, none of this would have been possible without those who knew what was happening on the ground. We call them our implementation partners, and we've had just so many of them who've got their expertise, who've got their knowledge, their understanding of what the situation is, because again, coming back to the point that we are just a country with so many diverse challenges, and the need of every part of the country, or the challenge every part of the country poses, is just so very different. And that's where our implementation partners have come in with their know-how. And let's just hear from some of them. Avijit Kumar, CEO, Charities Aid Foundation. And you're, of course, very special because you were our first partner on board, and you were, of course, our lucky partner, because then there was no looking back.
Exactly. And standing here, when I look at Mission 1000, I am reminded of a statement which I learned, and many of us have learned in school, which says, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And we were really fortunate to take that first step with Coca-Cola and NDTV. We were part of, happy to sort of reflect back and see that we were part of the ideation and the conceptualization of the entire program. And also what Shubha said, the 2 pilots that happened, we were part of that, looking into the feasibility of whether it can happen or not.
Well, Cherian Thomas, CEO World Division. Now, you were sort of involved in a large outreach across the country, and focus was on sanitation and behavior change. That's quite key, and at the heart of what everyone's been talking about is sort of key to the campaign.
That's right. Water and sanitation is a very important component of all the programs that we do. And the fact that we have a very wide reach enabled us to reach out to about 332 schools. It was quite a massive effort, because it meant that we had about 38 of our total of then 120 area programs involved in this effort. We had 320 of our staff engaged in this project in some way or the other. So it was quite an important and critical project for us, because we had to find a way of integrating this project into what we did across all the programs that we are involved in the country.
Well, Bhagyashree Inglade, Director of Programs, Plan India, and of course focusing on girl-child programs, again, so very key.
Plan India as an organization has implemented this program in 272 schools across India. While we work in more than 2,000 schools, and WASH is an integral part of our strategy, this program has been extremely special because we have been partnering with Coca-Cola for the last 4 or 5 years. This has created really a major impact for girls, and through these 272 schools, more than 10,000 girls have been impacted.
Wow.
So these are girls, it's not just WASH for them, but they are now the WASH leaders. And that is the difference. So even when Plan India leaves or Coca-Cola leaves, these girls are going to take the entire water sanitation, hygiene message back into their families and in their communities.
Great point. Well, Dr. Suresh Reddy, Director, SRF Foundation. And again, science labs and libraries, just again, so very key to ensure that all schools have the kind of opportunities that they really should be getting.
We began journey with the Coke a few years back in Mewat district of Haryana. So where this program, we work with different other partners as well, but this campaign allows that kind of collaboration, flexibility, innovation, creativity when we do things at the ground level. So because of that, we created the model science labs and libraries in the set of schools in Mewat. That is the first stage we did it. So seeing the best practices here, when we scaled up the program from Mewat to Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior and Indore, we brought the officials and school authorities and the panchayat officials to the Mewat to come and see. People say Mewat is the backward place, you know, nothing will happen there. But something happened there. How we did it? To show those things, we brought them here. So this is how this program created an opportunities for the schools, beyond the schools, going to the replicating the model other places. That's
Absolutely.
how we made a difference.
And I really do like that, Mr. Krishna Kumar, come in here. I really do like that not only replicating that model, but perhaps in a sense figuring out how to improve it. The point that you made, trying to figure out how to sort of just stay one step ahead, learn from perhaps some challenges and try and crack them. That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's the best way forward in any of these projects, because most of us do not understand ground reality till we are there. And then it's important to constantly keep studying and learning and making it better.